Two major unions are warning of nationwide strikes if the federal government fails to meet their demands. The Nigeria Labour Congress has given the government 7 days to appoint a governing board for the National Pension Commission. It also accused government of diverting workers' funds from the Social Insurance Trust Fund and warned against attempts to seize control of workers' contributions. The Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, on the other hand, has also issued a separate 21-day ultimatum, saying the government has ignored agreements and failed to address key welfare concerns. The union says it may shut down academic activities in all public polytechnics and monotechnics if talks do not resume. Both unions insist they will use every legal means to protect their members' rights if the deadline expires without action. Labour claims 40% of funds from the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund was moved into the National Treasury, undermining the scheme's role as a safety net for workers. It warned that failure to reverse the deductions and fill the leadership gap at PENCOM could lead to protest and a shutdown of services. Human rights activist Somi Uranta joins us now for a conversation on this development. Good morning, Mr. Uranta.
Good morning.
Good to have you this beautiful Saturday morning.
Good day,
on the morning show.
It's a great day.
Absolutely. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, it looks like another round or a set of strikes, is looming. I believe that we escaped the one of ASU a few weeks ago. Government was able to...
And that of the nurses and midwives.
And the nurses, yes. Correct, and the nurses. But we're back to NLC, who is talking about PENCOM, and the safety of workers' contributions, and of course, ASUP, the Union for the Polytechnics, who are giving a 21-day ultimatum because of the agreements that are not being respected. They say that if government does not come to the negotiation table before the expiration of the ultimatum, then they will have to down tools. What are your thoughts? I'm sure you've been monitoring all this. Why are we back to this back and forth, dealing with workers, etc.? What was the government not doing right?
You see, I discovered that the system we operate in, on its own, seemed to impede learning. Because, okay, let's even leave that of ASUP first. Look at the NLC. Yeah. People who are working, why tamper with, a contribution that is being made? This, like they have stated, is a safety net for the workers. We don't care for those who have served us. And then we are sending a very negative message to those who are in service. Those who have served, if you don't care for them, those who are in service will be thinking, say, look, let me do something and help myself, because when I leave here, nobody cares for me. I
don't know what will happen to my pension contributions.
So you put people on the edge. That is why the civil service is the way it is today. Now coming to ASUP, you discover that what are the demands, the 13-point demands they are making. These are things that will augur well for learning, for that sector. If you see in this country, what we need actually, more than even the universities, of course, they are both important. The technical and vocational training centers, like what the polytechnics and the monotechnics produce for Nigerians, are very, very key in the economy. If you look into the system, you discover that it is people from Benin Republic, the Togolese, these guys, they don't even understand your English. All they know is the skill. So
in terms of artisans.
Yes, yes. These are the people that come to do jobs for us in Nigeria here. But if you have people who have gone through that kind of tertiary learning, and it's on the practical side, they are trained, it will help Nigerians, get the basic manpower for these jobs. Imagine someone that went through a polytechnic and he's an expert in plumbing engineering. Such a technical know-how will easily be spread around people. And I think we need those kind of people more than even the people that speaks grammar at all every time. It's not that that is not important, but give them what they need to do their job. Because we need technical know-how. Even, look, Nigeria can actually, this economy that we are looking at is a mono economy where everything is on oil, crude oil. If we have, with kind of manpower, youthful manpower that we have, if we train our skilled men very well, I mean, in the polytechnics and the monotechnics, if we train them very well, we could be exporting skilled manpower as a source of revenue generation for Nigeria. But that's why most of our people, when they japa, they go there and they do all sorts of menial jobs because they don't have the certification, they don't have the training, the basic training. In fact, left for me, the entire Nigerian education system is supposed to be rejigged because the way we are training our people, our graduates and all that now, is somehow like the teacher comes and he tells you what he has read. Sometimes several years ago, decades ago, and he come and pour it on you, and he expects you to regurgitate that back to him when exams or tests are given. Meanwhile, what we need is the method where, the type Socrates, was using, whereby he tried to put up an issue and he asks you to go into you and bring out what is inside you. Because every human being has a wealth of knowledge inside him. So like Socrates would say, he said, look, because the mother was a midwife. So he said, I'm an intellectual midwife. I help people bring out, I'm not teaching them, I help them bring out what is already in them, bring it to the fore. So that is what Nigeria needs. So this polytechnics and the monotechnics, they are very, very key if we want to develop this economy on practical or in practical terms.
Right. That's very, very important, and you've spoken exceedingly well. Now, these issues continue to persist. How would you assess government's involvement in tackling these issues when they rise, the speed with which they handle it, and the severity with which they handle the issues as well?
It's annoying, I must say, the way government officials handle issues of this nature. You see, in most instances, and I can count off my fingers how many of these instances has occurred, and you see that the people concerned will wait until the window, the 21-day window, the ultimatum is elapsed before they start to act on it. So you ask, what are they doing? What is the job they've been doing? What is so important than taking care of the basic things? Because these are the basic things of the Federal Ministry of Education. They have departments. Government should stop this fire brigade approach. When issues come up, you treat it. I mean, what happens to proactiveness in governance? You don't wait until the thing happens, then you now react and off the cuff and all that. So everything will look disjointed. But when you think back, sit back, and even create scenarios, what could happen, and then you go ahead to solve it before the problem comes. That is how governance. People that have, in short, it's all about social re-engineering. You must do a calculation of all the things that are needed in the system. You find a way to solve it even before it happens. Not when it happens, then you start jumping, from pillar to post. It does not say, speak well of us as a people that are serious-minded.
Okay, I would like to hear your thoughts on the NLC and the PENCOM part. I believe that is an important development to say. Constitute the board. The PENCOM has been left without the board for a long time. Maybe that will assist not just the NLC, but the people, the public in general, in actually knowing how decisions are taken and what decisions, are being taken. But then when NLC now proceeds to say that, oh, we don't like the way that you are showing interest in the contributions in PENCOM, because a lot of people will be affected, and they are claiming that about 40% of the contributions have been moved.
Yes.
Moved is the word, to Treasury.
From moved to spending.
Well, I mean, my question will be, is NLC aware that the government may have, shall we say, the right to borrow money? Because that's what we have been hearing since 2021, even under Buhari, up till today, that, oh, there's a huge chunk of savings with PENCOM. And what government would like to do is to borrow against it, you know, trade with it and return it. Because you can't actually have money sit down without doing anything with it. The reason why your pension is growing beyond what you put there is because, you know, PENCOM is supposed to trade with what you have there. Do you think that what the NLC is therefore accusing government of is not that they are borrowing to trade with it and return so that PENCOM can make money, or they are just basically dipping their hands into the money illegally?
There is actually a trust deficit in the system. And you know, when people who are in government, you discover that each time they come out, or most of the times, they come out to say, look, this is, they debunk, you know, a rumor. Later, they admit it. Because when it becomes crystal clear that they can no longer deny it, you know, the people will say, but you said it wasn't like this, now it's like this. There is trust deficit. Every reasonable government will try to, you know, keep that trust with the people. You know, you say the fact that you are in government is not because you are the wisest person. It's not, and then it's not because you are not the master of the people. Is this a fiduciary relationship between the people and their government? The entire masses of the people willingly, of their own volition, you know, gave their mandates to you, you know, their own will, you know, their general will is contributed, and then you are the one that is superintending over that general will. You should be able to tell the people the truth. That was why it was Abraham Lincoln, I think the 16th president of the USA, who said that, tell the people the truth, and the nation will be free. We have to get to the point where people in government shouldn't just get up and start denying things for the sake of denial, when eventually to fall flat in their faces that they weren't really presenting the right position, you know.
But let me put the question in another way. Will it be wrong for PENCOM to invest 40% of their funds in, say, a federal government bonds or treasury bills? No,
it will not be wrong. But PENCOM is, I mean, the NLC people are asking that, create a board.
Come out clean. Let's know what
you're doing.
Let's
see how it is. Because, you see, the government has been, from the time of late Buhari, have been deep into borrowing money from every source possible. And these monies are borrowed for consumption. You see, so if these people are not shouting now, they might find out that the funds, you know, in that account will develop wings, and tomorrow you won't see it. All the money we've been borrowing, what's the impact on the lives of the people? So we are not, Nigerian government have not shown to be a prudent manager of resources. They don't generate resources. They don't even manage the ones that are coming. So it is risky to hang the lives of several workers over the years who have, you know, who are into this scheme. It's very, very risky to play with their lives, because it could spell doom for the entire nation. Because I may not be a civil servant, I may not have contributed in it, I may not be part of them, but I have brothers and sisters and relations. So we have to be careful. If the government wants to borrow money, if they want to invest...
Contributory pension scheme is not for civil servants alone. Even private companies also contribute.
But it's not everybody now. There are people who want to belong to it.
That's true.
So what I'm saying is that if you want to... You see, you cannot actually shave one's head or hair without his consent. You know, you have to carry us along. Let's create the board, just like the ASU people are asking. Create a board like the National University Commission. Create their own, you know, so that everything will be cleared. And the demands of these people are not out of this world. It's not. So it's just that there should be sincerity of purpose and the political will to do the right thing.
Do you think that that is going to happen anytime soon? Because I feel we always talk about the political will, sincerity to do the right thing. Things are happening. You know, things happen every day within our political space. Just earlier on the show today, we spoke about how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is heading into Japan, and then from Japan, he will go into Brazil. These are talks that are supposed to increase investments, you know, for Nigeria, boost our trade and investment sector. We also spoke about just earlier this week the weaponry that Nigeria will be getting from the United States, if I'm not mistaken, to tackle insecurity in the country. Aside that, we've also seen several funds that, you know, have been put out to be borrowed in order to bring in more revenue into the country to tackle several issues. So things are indeed happening. Now, what would you say is because it goes beyond just political will and doing the right thing. Because if you ask any politician, they will tell you there is political will and the right things are being done. But what exactly are the pertinent issues that constantly lead to this nationwide, these threats of a nationwide shutdown? Is it wastage? Is it a case where there's just not an interest to deal with this in terms of value of importance for this particular issue? Away from political will, let's speak to the direct issues and what they are.
Yeah. You see, in life, in business, in governance, there must be priorities. You must prioritize, put the first things first. You cannot be doing something that is different. Maybe your order of priority, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of taking from the 1, you are going to number 4. And you jump in the figures. The truth is that we must learn to, match our words with action. You packed in so many things. Now you mentioned insecurity. You mentioned the fact that they want to get arms. You mentioned this. These whole things. When I say political will, it is bogus, so to say. But we discover that it's not about going to get the arms. When you get the arms, you come back and you bring in terrorists who have been captured, and then you now go through a process you have already created, which is called the radicalization process. Then after which you now reintegrate them. And then you start giving them huge sums of money. The people they have displaced, people they have killed, their families are in the IDPs. And these people now come into the system. They are learning and seeing what is happening. They will sabotage the system. So the whole effort is like one running in a circus. We have to do things. When I say political will, I mean that you want the right thing to be done and you have the will to push it, to its logical conclusion. But I see that the system, those who are superintending over our affairs, they don't care much about result, about outcome. They just want to be seen to be doing something. And doing so, anybody can do anything. Look, motion is not development, it's not movement. We'll just be running around in a circle. That's what's happening. These people, is it the NLC or the ASUP people, what they are demanding is not much. It's something that could be done. If we even take away...
Yeah, but ASUP is a 30-point demand that
yes, if you take them one after the other, it's not... Okay, for example, there has been this disparity between bachelor's degrees that are awarded in the universities and that of the polytechnics. Why is there that disparity? Whatever is the reason, it could be looked into and they bring them to par because they are both graduates. They are both graduates. Why must the person of NLC, who has an HND, be bossed by someone with a BA or BSc? Why must he continue?
That argument has been on forever.
So I think ego and all that may have come into the matter. But see, what we want is results.
Yes.
We have had so much of this theoretical stuff. Those from the polytechnics, let us arrange, get their curriculum well fine-tuned so that they give us people, trained manpower, who can be exporting and be making money. Everybody cannot be on one area. We balance things up so that the economy can grow.
That's true. That's why ASUP said kill polytechnics, kill industries.
Yes.
You know, they're saying because they're supposed to be the breeding ground.
Exactly.
You know, for those who
Trained
can do
manpower.
it. But how do you think that the federal government can avert this looming strike, you know, on both sides, from the NLC part and from the you know, ASUB? Who should be talking to who, and what should be their area of concentration to avert this?
You see, the Minister for Education, Federal Minister of Education, should
Dr.
act
Tunji
now.
Alausa.
Yes, he should act now. Because if he doesn't act now and do the right thing, this whole thing will fall on our faces. The strike will commence. And look,
The Minister of Labour too.
Yes, Minister of Labour too. You know, our government officials, sometimes, let me give you one personal example. We held a summit, you know, which we call Moses, Perennial Student Entrepreneurial Summit for students who want to start up from Unilag. We invited the Minister for Youth. We invited a lot of people. Say, look, let's train this, let's reorientate the mindset of these students who are in the university, so that they can come and learn how to, you know, turn their skills, their hobbies into monetize it and start making money from it while even in school. The aim is to put a stop, or at least to put a bridge in this Jackpot syndrome. Everyone want to move away.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there are so many opportunities in Nigeria. The streets of Lagos, anywhere I go, I say, streets of Nigeria are paved with gold and diamond and what have you. Even people from...
You're trained to see it.
You see, it's the training, the orientation, entrepreneurial orientation, how to turn those small things into money-making venture.
Yeah.
Hone the skill, that talent you have, that knack you have for culinary, for singing, for dancing, for even laughing. So how to make money with it. And we'll send for the minister. We spoke, the head was asking me, what is there for the minister? Is he going to, what do you have for us? Blah, blah, blah. I said, look, this is a student stuff. Everything is free. Eventually, they did not send anybody.
Who was behind Moses, by the way?
I was behind Moses.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I was behind Moses. So at the end of the day, they have the office in Lagos here. Nobody came from them. But they said they wouldn't be able to make it because it was not. I said, look, I said, at the point I asked the person, I said, what is the job of your ministry, if not to encourage youth? Because if you have 100 or 200 or 300 youths who will key into this, small, bit by bit, we'll get to different parts of Nigeria, and the youth, when they key into entrepreneurship, it will help the system grow, but nobody cares. So that's the way it is now. The Minister of Education should, please, as a matter of urgency, get in touch with these people and start discussing. Instead of one other tactics government will use is to find a way to break their ranks by creating, you know, an alternate body, you know, a parallel body, so that to whittle down their influence. But you are doing more harm to the system. Okay. It's not about the people.
All right, Mr. Sonny Uranta, we want to thank you for joining us on the morning show today. It's been a beautiful discussion. Let's hope, of course, that, you know, the authorities will listen and make a good intervention.
Exactly.
Thank you indeed.